Hello everyone, Mr. Spooks here. Before we start, take a second to tell me where you're watching from and what time it is there. It's always incredible to see how many different places these stories reach. A Reddit user known as NoVariety5078 shared this unsettling clip to the Paranormal Encounters subreddit. The footage was recorded by a security camera inside what appears to be a department store somewhere in Chile. At first, everything seems completely normal. The store is empty, quiet, and still. But within seconds, something strange happens. Watch the left side of the screen carefully. A very tall, shadow-like figure appears to move down the staircase before suddenly disappearing. If this footage is real, one detail immediately stands out: the figure's height. It looks far taller than an average person, and much taller than what most people imagine when they think of a ghost. There's very little information provided about the clip, which makes it difficult to know what's really happening here. Some viewers believe this could be a genuine apparition captured on CCTV, especially since the figure seems to move naturally through the space before vanishing. Others argue that this could be the result of a camera glitch. Low frame rate security cameras are known to struggle with movement on stairs, sometimes causing people to partially disappear due to compression or frame blending. Still, seeing a towering figure appear and fade away inside an empty store is enough to make anyone uneasy. So what do you think? A technical error? Or something that wasn't meant to be there? This video was recorded inside the home of a woman named Misty Huron early one morning. At first, nothing about it seems out of the ordinary, so take a close look.
Do y'all see what I mean? I mean, literally, I try to be done. I don't talk about it. I don't do all the things. And it's 7 a.m. on a Wednesday. And my light is just having a freaking party on its own. Just trying to make breakfast, make lunches. Here's my switch and whatever, remote. And here we are. Happy Wednesday, y'all.
At first glance, it's easy to dismiss what you're seeing here as a simple electrical issue. A faulty switch, old wiring, something mundane. But before settling on that explanation, there's more to the story that needs context. Misty says that strange things have been happening inside this house for quite some time, and when those experiences are put together, they become harder to ignore. One incident occurred while Misty and her family were away on vacation. A neighbor later contacted her and said that every night, as he drove past the house, he noticed the lights turning on and off repeatedly, despite the house being completely empty. On another day during the trip, Misty asked the same neighbor to unlock the front door so the housekeeper could enter before he left for work. He confirmed that he unlocked the door, but only minutes later, the housekeeper called Misty in a panic, saying the door was locked and she couldn't get inside. When Misty called the neighbor back, he insisted again that he had unlocked it, and that no one else had been there since. Misty also says that toys inside the house have turned on by themselves and malfunctioned without explanation, and one room in particular has become infamous. A room where the family claims they've repeatedly heard something laughing, and where objects seem to move on their own. So when you connect the lights switching on and off, the locked doors, the malfunctioning toys, and the unexplained laughter, does it still feel like faulty wiring? As always, I'll let you decide. Two sisters are home alone when their house alarm suddenly begins to go off. Fearing that someone may have broken in, they hide and wait, unsure of what's happening inside their home.
I'm recording. Wait. Do you hear that?
When they later review their security footage, it appears that their front door had opened, suggesting that someone may have entered the house. But what's strange is that when the moment is replayed, no one can be seen opening the door. It simply swings open on its own. At the time, the sisters didn't witness this happen. They only knew the door was suddenly open. Adding to the panic, they can be heard reacting to the sound of a police siren outside their home. And just when it seems like things couldn't escalate any further, something else appears.
Can you check the security footage? Yeah. Oh. What is it?
It becomes clear that something else may have been inside the house that night, but not what the sisters were expecting. While they initially believed a person had broken in, the footage shows a small, shadowy figure darting past the camera at incredible speed. The figure has no clear shape or features and vanishes almost instantly.
The fact that it just moved so quickly,
Yeah.
but then like the motion capture camera didn't see that shape. And like when it was
how could it
tracking
have
the
even
movement.
known that it was?
Even more unsettling, the security camera itself seems confused by whatever is moving through the house. At times, the camera fails to lock onto anything at all, but in other moments, a green detection box appears in a completely dark room, as if something invisible is being identified. The sisters say their camera has never behaved like this before, And it all began the same night the door opened on its
Front
own.
door opening on its own.
Yeah,
That shit was
that's
closed. We closed that door.
And I mean, this house is like brand new. Like it's not old or like anything.
Yeah, it's not like the latches are like,
Like
faulty or
everything
something.
works.
Because the activity appears to start with the unexplained opening of the door, the sisters believe that something paranormal may have forced its way inside. This raises an unsettling question about what was happening earlier in the video. Did something supernatural open the door at the beginning? Or is there another explanation entirely? After reviewing the footage, it's hard to say what was really captured that night. So just what do you think the camera was detecting? As always, let me know your thoughts. This footage was recorded inside the Lizzie Borden house, specifically in the Abby and Andrew suite. A room already known for unexplained activity. At the time, an investigator named Kyle was exploring the house completely alone. As he attempts to enter the suite, the door repeatedly locks on him. There's no one else nearby. No one touching the handle. Eventually, Kyle manages to force the door open and starts recording. But the moment he steps inside, something feels wrong. The entire room is flooded with an intense red light, casting heavy shadows across the walls and furniture. Kyle slowly moves through the space, unsure why the lighting has suddenly changed.
Trying to enter the Abby and Andrew suite at the Lizzie Borden house. The door locked on me with no one in there. This is really terrifying.
As he continues filming, a door inside the suite suddenly closes on its own. No one is near it, even stranger. The camera briefly slips out of focus right as Kyle enters the room. Some investigators believe this happens when something unseen passes close to the lens. Between the locking door, the sudden movement, and the camera struggling to focus, the room feels less like an empty space and more like somewhere already occupied. Later, in a separate moment from the same house, another disturbing scene is captured. A doorway appears ahead, and the door begins to slowly slide back and forth on its own. Each time it opens, it reveals a creepy doll inside the room. Then it closes again, over and over. The movement is smooth and controlled, not like a draft, almost like something is choosing exactly when the doll should be seen.
This is happening again. I will show you no one is there.
After several minutes, the door suddenly stops moving altogether. The silence that follows feels heavier than the motion itself. Kyle decides he's seen enough. He backs away from the room and kicks the doll down the hallway, putting as much distance as possible between himself and the suite. But the activity doesn't stop there. In another clip from the same location, a wooden door can be seen trying to open from the other side. The only thing preventing it from fully opening is a metal chain lock. The pressure against the door looks constant, not random, almost as if something is testing the chain, pulling just hard enough to make it rattle.
This place is so haunted. Locked. Bathroom empty. Help.
Not long after, Kyle attempts to enter a different room in the house, but this door refuses to open. As he pushes, the door pushes back, not like it's stuck, but like something on the other side is holding it shut. The resistance never changes. After everything he's witnessed, Kyle decides to leave the house entirely. So is the Lizzie Borden house simply old and unstable, or is something inside deciding who can enter and who can't? As always, you decide. Back in 2020, a woman named Sylvia decided to experiment with a Ouija board. Late one night, she sat at her kitchen table, turned off the lights, and lit a few candles, never expecting anything to actually happen. But in the days that followed, strange and unsettling activity began to spread throughout her home. The kitchen sink would turn on by itself, objects would slowly slide across the counters, and at times, items were violently thrown across the room. Whatever Sylvia may have invited in didn't seem interested in leaving. As the activity escalated, she eventually created a YouTube channel to document everything she was experiencing.
Knives are moving.
In one of her videos, Sylvia captures knives rocking back and forth as a kitchen cabinet slowly opens on its own. Moments later, heavy pots begin falling from the counter and crashing onto the floor. And this was only the beginning. From that point on, anytime Sylvia heard unexplained movement coming from the kitchen, she knew she needed to start recording immediately.
Put the camera on, guys, because that plate's moving. That plate. I'm scared to go in the kitchen in case it comes out. Hits me. Can you see that? That plate is moving. Oh my god. Just broke that plate. Oh my god, guys.
Sylvia hoped that over time the activity would fade, but instead it only seemed to grow more aggressive.
Knife was moving like a minute. That knife's moving. Oh, oh, guys.
In another disturbing clip, Sylvia stands frozen as a block of knives begins to shift on its own. Without warning, one of the knives suddenly launches in her direction. This moment marks a turning point, because whatever is causing the activity is no longer just moving objects. It could seriously hurt her. Now fast forward to 2025, 5 years after the haunting first began, and Sylvia says she's still living with the same dark presence inside her home.
Guys, I heard the kettle going. Guys, I've just heard the kettle going on itself. I didn't put it on. The spirit in the kitchen's put the kettle on. Oh, spirit in the kitchen, what are you trying to tell me? Why did you do that? Why did you put the kettle on? Why did you put the kettle on? Oh my god, guys. Oh. Get out of my kitchen. Get out of my house. Spirit in the kitchen. I'm fed up with this now.
After years of non-stop poltergeist activity, Sylvia is clearly exhausted and terrified. And even after all this time, she says the fear hasn't faded at all. So the question is, did Sylvia truly invite something into her home back in 2020? Or is there another explanation for what's been happening all these years? As always, you decide. A woman named Jennifer owns a beautiful historic home dating all the way back to 1907, filled with antique pieces that go as far back as 1903. At first glance, the house looks warm, elegant, and full of character. But not long after moving in, Jennifer began experiencing things she couldn't explain. Things that slowly became impossible to ignore. She started hearing footsteps when no one else was around. faint whispering, objects shifting on their own, and shadows moving just outside her field of vision. What makes this even more unsettling is what Jennifer later discovered. After speaking with a local historian, she learned that when the house was built, there were no nearby hospitals, and it's believed that at least 4 people died inside the home, deaths that likely occurred under stressful emotional circumstances. The kind many believe can leave a lasting imprint on a place, and based on Jennifer's previous clips, many viewers already suspected the house itself was the source. One evening, just as Jennifer was about to sit down for dinner, she started hearing strange noises coming from inside the house. Watch closely.
I'm hearing a few things. It's like 4:45, so I'm just gonna listen and see if I can catch anything. Okay, I thought I just heard music. I want to go up on this landing and see if I can hear it better. Okay, well, listen up here. I seriously feel like I'm hearing people have a conversation. No one's here but me. Oh my gosh. I'm hearing movement. Down there. And then I heard something up here. Hear that? It sounds like music. Well, it's the usual dinner time activity. I'm gonna play it back and see if I caught anything.
What makes this clip so disturbing is how differently people hear it. Some say it sounds like soft humming. Others hear knocking, while many insist they can clearly make out a man's voice saying, "I'm fine." A few even believe they hear faint music. The most chilling part is that none of these sounds seem to have a clear source. After watching the clip, people couldn't agree on one explanation, only that something about it doesn't feel right. So what did you hear? Do you think this house is holding on to its past, or is something inside becoming aware of the people living there now? You decide. TikTok user Beard Dude shared a series of videos that he claims were recorded while working alone as a gardener in a cemetery. In the first clip, he says he's been noticing strange movement around the area and believes something might be nearby. Speaking calmly, he addresses whatever he thinks could be there and asks it to give him a sign. Specifically, he asks that if it's in the room with him, it should close the door in front of him. There's a brief pause, and then, suddenly, the door moves.
I heard you over there. I heard you moving around. Let me know you're here. Close that door. Yes, this is your cemetery, I know. I'm just trying to keep it nice for you. Keep it maintained and looking nice. Out of respect. I'm not trying to
In the second video, Beard Dude is walking through another part of the work site. He explains that he keeps hearing strange shuffling sounds coming from behind a cement mixer. Each time he goes to check, there's nothing there. No one else is on site. No visible movement. But as he continues filming and looks away for just a moment, something unexpected happens nearby.
So I'm hearing shuffling now. It sounded like it was behind the cement mixer. Fast footsteps or something that was back there. Clearly you can see there's nobody back there. So, not sure what that was. Reach behind there. All right then. That.
The third and final clip was recorded on a rainy day. Beard Dude says that whenever the weather turns bad, unusual things seem to happen around him. He's focused on finishing his work as rain falls steadily around the cemetery. And once again, without warning, an object nearby suddenly moves on its own.
A rainy day up here. You gotta love it. I swear, anytime the weather's like this, weird shit happens. So let's hope today is not one of those days. There's that thing. Holy. Yeah, that's just great. Hell no.
Seeing tools and equipment shift or appear to be thrown while working alone in a cemetery is bound to raise a few eyebrows. Some viewers believe the repeated incidents, combined with the setting, suggest something paranormal, especially since the objects don't simply tip over, but seem to move with force. Others argue there could be practical explanations. Uneven ground, wind, vibrations from nearby equipment, or slick surfaces from the rain could all play a role. Skeptics also point out that some reactions happen just off camera, making it hard to rule out unseen factors. So is this just environmental conditions playing tricks at the worst possible location, or is something else making its presence known? As always, you decide. Danny works the closing shift at a local gym, a place where he says strange and unexplained things have been happening for weeks. One night around 10:30 p.m., Danny finds himself completely alone after locking up for the night. As he finishes up at the reception desk, he suddenly hears something that makes him stop and pull out his phone to record. This is what he captures.
Pero este es mi área de trabajo. Y ese es el gimnasio. Está cerrado con llave. O sea, como puedes ver, está cerrado con llave. Y justo de aquel lado, justo allá, por ahí, se escuchó que algo se movió. O sea, las barras olímpicas, se escuchó cómo las volvieron a poner ahí en su lugar. Porque cuando las ponen en su lugar tiene un sonido muy específico. Y justamente ahí, me lo voy a poner ahí. Esa banca de ahí, cuando yo estoy desde mi escritorio, se alcanza a ver. Y literalmente se vio como alguien se asomó como hacia acá y se volvió a meter, se escondió. Se empezaron a escuchar ruidos, ahorita está la música y tal vez este video tenga copyright, pero se alcanzó a escuchar el sonido y... ¡Ay, puta madre! Ahí está, ahí está, ahí está. No, ma.
Even though the gym is locked and empty, loud metallic sounds echo through the building. It sounds exactly like gym equipment being moved. Danny later explains that while standing at the front desk, he thought he saw a face briefly peeking out at him from across the gym, but when he looked again, there was no one there. Trying to stay calm, Danny attempts to recreate the sound himself and realizes it closely resembles the noise of someone re-racking a barbell.
Lo que se escuchó literalmente fue esto. El sonido y...
Unsure what to make of it, Danny shrugs it off and continues his closing duties. But not long after, Something else happens that makes him question whether this really has a normal explanation. Watch closely.
Porque esto pasa muy... ¿Viste? O sea, mira, vamos a pensar. Son 10:35. Ahorita ya no debe de haber nadie. No voy a poner ni pausa ni nada. Ajá. Tú lo escuchaste. Yo lo escuché. Tú lo... O sea... Veamos. Esa fue una, ¿no? La otra. Tú escuchaste las subidas de escaleras. Como si corrieran. No voy a poner pausa porque la neta... me llaman loco, me dicen es el aire, me dicen son tus energías, me dicen madre y media, pero mira, no estoy loco. No estoy loco. Está cerrado. Está cerrado. Digo, si lo fuerzo no quiero romperlo, pero... No mames.
From somewhere inside the gym, Danny hears what sounds like someone suddenly running up the stair. Almost immediately after, he hears movement again, this time coming from directly behind him.
Tú lo...
When Danny cautiously heads upstairs to check, he makes a disturbing discovery. Behind a locked door, 3 heavy punching bags can be seen swinging back and forth on their own, despite no one else being in the building. Danny now believes that whatever is happening inside the gym isn't natural. But for now, there haven't been any further updates. So what do you think is really going on here?